I've learned pretty much. Okay, so you can put it this way, right? I've learned how not to do things quite a bit. Um, yeah, I need to remember that when I do my own switches and stuff, all sensors should go to one central computer. No relays and switches and multiple connections in series. It's just so stupid to diagnose and fix and to assemble. And yeah, so all sensors go to a central computer. That is one thing. And okay, I guess it makes sense if I give a little backstory, right? I started a new job as a mechanic, and so I've been learning a lot of stuff from cars and what mechanics learn. Um, I've learned a lot of stuff about how to assemble things. For example, just today, I didn't know that there were many type of bearings. Bearings do not need to be symmetrical. That's kind of what I learned today. I mean, I thought all bearings were pretty much like ball bearings and needed to be symmetrical, like with a sphere in the middle or with a cylinder. But no, there are conical shaped bearings, and those work with actual forces, not just a rolling force, but you can put a little bit of force to the side and they won't slip. They're a little bit better. If you go to the extreme, you can look up for thrust bearings. But yeah, I've learned a lot of stuff. The most important thing that I've learned though is that yeah, there are ways to not do things. And the sensor thing is a pretty big one. Right now, pretty soon, I hope I'm gonna be assembling some switches. Um, Not some switches, like some circuits. I'm gonna obviously document that because that should be, more available. But yeah, I'm not ready yet. I don't have all the stuff, and today I'm like ridiculously tired. On that sense, for example, another thing I've learned is on circuits there is many ways to create and interpret signals, and not just signals but current modulation. It's pretty important. For example, this was really interesting when I figured it out. To charge a battery and to receive power from a solar panel. No, okay, so the best way to describe it is this. Um, to charge a battery, it is very important to do it with a certain voltage. And that voltage changes between, uh, not between, that voltage that you need to charge the battery at an optimal speed changes with the charge state of the battery. If the battery is almost full, you require a certain voltage. If the battery is almost empty, you require a different voltage. Now, not just that, but on the flip side, when an outlet is an outlet, right? It provides 120 volts of 60 AC at 30 amps. But a solar panel, which is one of the things I'm learning and I'm going to make a circuit of, a solar panel changes its voltage depending on the sun and on the position and on the temperature and whatever. And you need to make rectifiers and circuits to change the current and the voltage so that you get the most efficiency out of the small voltage that the solar panel is making to charge a battery. And that is, for example, one of the things I learned, that voltage and current regulation and amplification and wave manipulation is very important. Another one that is important that I am learning about, it's, for example, with servos and motors and stuff like that, um, to produce those very high torques. You know, a square wave is not really the best way to approach this. It's called, I think it's called delta wave, or delta delta something manipulation, and is a circuit that controls the frequency. Well, it can do several things, but mainly it controls the frequency at which your sine wave of current, of voltage, it's going to the motor, to the electric motor, because depending on the speed of the rotation and depending on the load, you need to change the frequency at which you're sending the electricity. Um, that's, for example, another thing that I've been learning. Um, I guess one thing, this is a very old one. I don't remember on which video, but I talked about it, that some companies are starting to dip their toes. I think that's what I said. Some companies are starting to dip their toes to, like, not follow old regulations and old ways of doing stuff. And I gave the example that BMW stopped using oil dipsticks, and that's actually correct. Not only BMW, but several German car makers. I don't know from which year, but they don't have oil dipsticks anymore. Volkswagen, almost all of those I've seen an oil dipstick. BMW, Audi, those really I think I've seen no BMW with a dipstick. Audi, I don't remember, to be honest, but I think I did. But yeah, I mean, some companies are truly changing their way of making cars and started to get rid of, like, some useless shit, which is good because it's useless shit. We don't need that anymore. I guess that's exactly why I need to remember to not fucking do serial switches and relays. Like, oh my goodness, it's so bad. The amount of switches and relays and, like, fuses and serial connections that cars have from, like, the 2000s to the, I would say, 2015. It's crazy. It's so stupid. Like, yeah, just have a central computer that can handle all of that stuff. If the central computer fails, yeah, yeah, your car won't work at all. Nothing is gonna work. But yeah, man, just change the fucking computer and everything's gonna work again. Don't fucking bother with, like, individual fuses and switches and relays, and it's so bad. That's one of the things I've learned of how not to do things. Other stuff that I've learned, yeah, there's many, mainly related to how to assemble and how to manufacture stuff. It is very interesting. So yeah, I guess that's it. I just have to remember a couple of stuff. Um, the other stuff is just kind of irrelevant. Well, not irrelevant, but it's not that important. I don't. Well, I choose to believe that they're not that important. Um, so yeah, I guess that's it. Mainly two things. Switches and relays in series, when you have like 200 of them, are pretty bad. And get rid of useless shit. I think that's the other one. There's many useless shit on a card today. Yeah. But whatever. I mean,